I'm Teddy's Teddy. This is the 100th anniversary of the teddy bear. Would you like to know how we got the name Teddy Bear?
The Panama Canal is located between North and South America, right below Costa Rica. It connects the North Atlantic Ocean to the South Pacific Ocean and stretches 50 miles long. Without the canal, ships would have to go all the way around South America to reach the Pacific Ocean. The canal reduced this time greatly.
In your opinion, why was the Panama Canal so important to America?
I think the Panama Canal is important for a number of reasons. At the time, and like I always say, you have to put things in the context of the time, it was very important for American foreign policy. If you have a map in front of you and you take a look at Panama, it actually gave the United States access from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, which if you, again, were looking at that map, you would see that before the Panama Canal, in order for American ships to travel from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, we had to travel all the way down below South America, and it was quite a lengthy trip. And in a world where powers were expanding and navies were vitally important, the Panama Canal provided us quick access.
Well, the Panama Canal was important for a number of reasons. One reason was it announced to the world that the United States was a major player. And I don't mean by like going to Beach Street major player. I mean a player as in with the world, and that we were a premier country.
Roosevelt did not actually create the Panama Canal. The idea of a canal had been thought of since the 16th century. The French began to build the canal, but never finished because the laborers had engineering problems and diseases. During the presidency of Teddy Roosevelt, he offered to buy the right to finish building the canal for $40 million, but Colombia refused.
Lucky for Teddy, he was correct in predicting a revolution between Panama against Colombia rule. He presented Panama with troops to help fight Colombia. He then offered them $10 million for their canal, which they gladly accepted, and the United States now had control of the Panama Canal. And so construction began.
I don't know if smart is the word that I would necessarily use, but I think it was very Teddy Roosevelt, and you know, history has judged him very kindly. I think there was a lot of people who, during the time itself, thought he was being a little too aggressive, and if we were living during the time, we may have agreed with those people, but in retrospect, ultimately sending those troops in there did help us obtain what we needed to obtain to build the canal, and certainly the building of the canal was significant. So I guess hindsight is 20/20, but in looking back, I would say yes. If I was living during the time, I may have thought he was being too aggressive, but history has told us that it seems as if he did the right thing there.
But ethically, I don't know if it was correct to do that, because it was somewhat Machiavellian for him to do that, to send troops and intervene in an independent civil war. So, I guess that remains to be debated.
Although the canal was one of the world's greatest engineering projects, the method in which the U.S. gained control was very controversial. Some saw that Teddy Roosevelt took advantage of his newly independent republic. However, these issues were resolved by the 1977 treaty, which turned the control of the canal to Panama.
During his speech in Panama, Teddy Roosevelt states,
on yet, but I took the canal zone and let Congress debate, and while the debate goes on, the canal does also.
Well, I would interpret that quote as his philosophy of the bully pulpit on steroids. He decided, unlike previous presidents, that he was going to use his office to direct the country the way he saw fit. taking the canal and basically bypassing the power of Congress was really the beginnings of what we would call the modern presidency, of a president really using his power to direct the country in a certain way. And every president thereafter has basically used this power to expand the executive branch.
The American Studies course themes that our topic relates to is change and innovation because Teddy Roosevelt brought change to the United States with the canal since it provided a quick route of transportation and was one of the greatest engineering projects. And also power, authority, and leadership because Teddy Roosevelt used his authority to make decisions without the consent of Congress and exerted himself to bring about change.